City, it's the Wendy Williams Show. Now, here's Wendy.
Okay, let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. Come on. Thank you for being here. Who am I kidding with this pose? Ow, the varicose veins of it all. Let go. Let go. Ow. I virtually want to sit with you like this. You know, the veins come in when you get a particular age. Or you have a particular lineage. Anyway, all right, so look. Meghan Markle's father is no longer going to be at his daughter's royal wedding. Well, you've heard about this, and people have talked about it, but I want to talk to you about it and how I feel about it. And how I feel about it is poor Mr. Markle. And I secretly think that the royal family and their protocol has her saying he is no longer invited. Now, you want to marry our son, you want to marry our grandson, you want to marry our great-grandson, or however old people are in the family. You got to get down or lay down. And so she's getting down. He told TMZ he doesn't want to embarrass Meghan or the royal family for the scandal with that posed photo shoot. We talked about this yesterday on Hot Topics. Reportedly, Meghan was devastated. I don't believe that. I believe Meghan was probably devastated by her sister, who called the father and set him up to do something like this. Dad doesn't know. Does he really look like he knows? I mean, you don't want to judge people on the way they look, but you do it all the time. So let's talk about him. He doesn't know how to call a paparazzi. What? Okay, you'll give me $130,000 or whatever it was, you know, whatever, and you'll show up. I can play like I'm at the library, and you take pictures of me looking up the royal family, and then at the coffee shop, looking up images of Britain. Poor thing, he doesn't know. When last we saw of him, remember when me and Hot Topics talked about this in the very beginning, he was walking out of the store with a 12-pack. That's all he wanted was a 12-pack and his cigars, and the paparazzi ran up on him, and he was looking at them like, oh my gosh, this is all too much. And I was asked this morning in the meeting, well, should Harry call Mr. Markle? Excuse me? Clap if you think Harry's supposed to call. I'll see you to the door once the show is over. No, I feel like Harry is busy doing other things. This is not the normal couple. It's not like Jane and Joe from Main Street, USA getting married, where families are all involved with one another. This is a big to-do. She knew it when she hunted him down and studied his whole lineage. And he knew it when he found out, well, what the heck, I'm not gonna be a prince for another 5 princes. So in other words, I don't really count. I can just like party and have that prince title and do my own thing. Harry is a loose cannon, and we've seen him being loose with his cannon several times. So No, I don't think that Harry should call the father, and I don't think the father should call her dad. Her dad also claims that he had a heart attack 6 days ago and was heading back to the hospital after last night with chest pains. Now, maybe you all caused the chest pains because now you all are all upset over these pictures. I think that there are a lot of people who play a lot with talking about their health. And I'm not going to accuse anyone. All I'm saying is a heart attack, in my mind, I think that he might have had a piece of, what do you get, the heartburn. or a little angina over here, or something like that. But there's certain people who play with those big words like a heart attack or on death's door. Don't do that. No, I don't think he was sick. And no, I don't think her mother should walk her down the aisle. By the way, because now that the father's not doing it, people are saying, well, maybe mom should do it. Why? This is a 36-year-old divorcee. As far as I'm concerned, she shouldn't even be wearing a white dress, but okay. Oh, please. Oh, please with you. I think that Meghan should walk down the aisle by herself, you know, because she's already done that life. But what she should be concerned about is the aftermath of being married. Like, her mom is going to be there, and they have a beautiful relationship, and that's perfect. I don't believe her dad had the heart attack. I do believe that her dad probably was kicked out of the wedding because Meghan probably called him and says, Daddy, or excuse me, oh, I forgot, she doesn't have the accent. Oh, Dad. These people are telling me that you're too much for the kingdom. So let me just get down this aisle. You already know that this is no prenuptial happening. And you already know I'm a smart girl. Daddy, I'll meet you at the Starbucks up the street around the corner from Crenshaw shortly after the wedding. But right now, Dad, just lay low. Yeah. And then, you know, some of Meghan's uninvited family members, uninvited, I said, family members, arrived in London yesterday. Take a look at this. Oh yes, what the Jersey Shore is going on. The one in the black tank top happens to be her nephew. Oh, this woman, Meghan, believe me, the gag is that Meghan is winning and Harry is blindsided. She probably has a hell of a snap and gyro and a really good sensitive conversation. And for him to marry her with no prenuptial agreement and, you know, divorcee, 36, older than him, she's got to quickly get with those kids. And I don't know if you were watching one of the shows I was watching yesterday. Diana apparently had this psychic who used to see her, his mother, who used to see her 5 days a week. And the psychic originally loved Meghan, but now the psychic was asked, and the psychic was like, nope. Diana does not like this union. And the psychic was asked, will they have children? She said, yeah, they're gonna have one, maybe two, but at least one. So Piers Morgan, first of all, everyone's getting ready for this royal wedding. Samantha, the half-sister of Meghan, already got her hair done, did, honey? Nope, that's not it. Look at her on Piers. She might have gotten her lips done and everything. She's ready, a little Botox. Please, why not? So Piers Morgan slammed Meghan's half-sister, Samantha, right here during an interview yesterday. You take a look and then we'll talk.
I mean, how you have the gall to come on here and talk about media vultures? You're doing a book called The Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister. You've been trashing her for 2 years, you little vulture.
don't like men to get mixed up in women's business. You know, Piers is a friend of our show, but he has very womanly ways sometimes when he speaks to women about things. He called her a vulture. She's not a vulture. She's the half-sister. She happens to be confined to a wheelchair. And maybe she's jealous of Meghan. She's like twice Meghan's age and grew up in a different, even though they're half-sisters, they grew up in a different household. You know what I mean? Because she's so much older than Meghan. Piers, you stay out. Dad, you lay low. And Harry, you better watch out. So Friday, I was telling you that Candy Burris from Atlanta Housewives was making a reality show for, I think, the WE channel with Marlo Hampton, starring. And I was saying, wow, and Candy's not gonna be in the show. She was just gonna be executive producer, and she was still gonna Candy was still gonna be on Housewives of Atlanta over at Bravo. So I thought that this was really smart. I was not hating at all. Like, you know, Bravo needs to get their contracts tight, because this is how Candy found the loophole, and she took Marlo, who to me, always, in recent years, she's become more interesting than all the housewives. Like, you wanna know more. Label, 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 label. How do you pay for all this stuff? Then you hear about these rich men in her life who've paid for everything, and then you hear her basically admitting that yup, she's that girl, doesn't have a job. Norman?
We don't know. You have to Google her, but when you Google, it's like, we don't know.
And what did we see her say on the reunion? She said, I have businesses.
Yeah, Marlo Hampton LLC.
And you got on it right away, right?
Right.
And what'd you say?
Right. We Googled and we just saw nothing. I don't know what it was.
So there are a lot of women who live their lives that way off the backs of men. Although by the time you're in your 40s, it gets tired and corny. Just saying. Anyway, so this show I thought was going to be a great idea. I actually said I would be watching it. I would watch this over the Atlanta Housewives because I'm tired of all of them. But the show was canceled already. It hasn't even been on the block to be judged by us. Well, according to the JasmineBrand.com, Marlo was too difficult to work with. Oh, yes. Well, listen. When you grow up on your back, excuse me, that's what we do. Don't we sleep on our backs as babies? And then our mothers turn us ever so gently. Come on, you all, help me. Don't do it, help me. Reportedly, Marlo's demands were too much for the budget of the show. Well, you have to understand, when you start up a show, whether it's a talk show, a reality show, or whatever, there is a budget. And she's over here talking about, I want to fly first class, and I want the best of this and the best of that, and only these flowers will do for me, and only this and that, and you know, rose petals on the floor, whatever. She was demanding like she is Loretta Young. You don't know who she is? That's a shout out to everyone in the old age homes. Loretta Young was a big star back in the day. Oh, you know her. Yes, Disco Ball. Loretta Young. Loretta Young was a big beauty back in the day. Before my time, but my mother has talked, so I remember that name, Loretta Young. Anyway, so she's walking around like she's Beyonce. And so the show got canceled, and there's no one left to cast, as far as I'm concerned. Who are you going to cast in this show? Who are you going to cast? What's her name, Snow?
Oh, Deshaun Snow, season 1.
Lisa Wu?
No. Season 1 and 2.
Listen, Candy, good luck with you and trying. You did try. Marlo, you have to come back down to earth and understand, darling, your stunt games are getting tired and weak. And if you really want to make an honest coin, you've got to come back down to earth with the rest of us. Hey, Suzanne.
Yeah.
That wasn't too much, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you've been around.
Yup.
You know there's certain women who, you know, rooty toot toot for the vooty voot voot.
Yes.
But when life gets real, you gotta stop asking for all that fancy voov and stuff.
Exactly, and do it yourself and just be
Yup.
humble.
Yup.
Yup.
And yup. That's all we're saying here over at Wendy. Just sometimes you gotta humble yourself. In the meantime, Carrie Underwood wants to move to escape her neighbors who are apparently prying. Now, Carrie has lived in this gated community for years. But what has happened, I guess, is since she fell down the steps outside of her home and broke her face and then did that whole media tour about her face being broken, which is not broken, she still looks very lovely. You know, she looks lovely. But the neighbors knew that she lived there with her husband and their kids, but for whatever reason, the neighbors never bothered her. Now, all of a sudden, she's on Hot Topics and the Inside Edition and Access Hollywoods, and she's talking about the face and being broken and everything. The neighbors are becoming pains in the behind by letting their friends come over to get a glimpse of Carrie's house. So it's not the neighbors. You know, it usually isn't the person. It's always the set-siders. So the neighbors' friends are like, oh, Carrie, let's have a sip and see. So I can see Carrie Underwood's deck. You know, or the neighbor next door. You know, if I were Carrie, I wouldn't move. Why would you move? You have to remove your wallpaper. You know, when you make a house into a home, are you moving? Because people are nosy? Or do you figure out how to handle it? Sans the police. Sans the police. Once you get the cops involved, it becomes a whole nother type of neighborhood. Then it becomes the hood. If I were Carrie, I would go right over to the wife. Not have her husband go to the husband, because men oftentimes, they get loud and things get awry. But we women have a way. I don't know about you, but I know I have a way. I could knock, knock, knock. Yes, we are the ones who live here. We got the talk show. Would you please stop with your friends in the goddamn... Oops. Oops. Listen, after the show, I get back on the block. I gotta, you know, I gotta, you know. But, you know, if you're having problems with your neighbors, you know, whoever you are, from my experience, if you are a woman with a backbone and a bit of civility, so you won't go over all aggressive, but you know, you say the right things, hold your neck, don't do this, okay? No, hold your neck and hold your pinky down, okay? But you say, knock, knock, knock. There's a lot of activity going on over here, and I'm letting you know right now, I'm not having it. I am not the one. See, there's a way you can say in certain words, I am not the one. Now, you have tried it too many times. I am not moving, and apparently neither are you, and I'm not building up bigger bushes. But you and your friends and all this mess, don't try me. Don't do it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, a bottle of bleach will make spots in your lawn. A little dye would make your pool all of a sudden black. Or whatever. But you don't want to go there with your neighbors because they're your neighbors, but you also don't want to rip down your wallpaper. Like, who's moving like that all the time? Who's got the time to move? Apparently I have to. They tell me that Hot Topics is over. That's okay. Look, I'll move from here to there. We've got more. one more great show. International superstar Talia is here. So grab a snack. Come on back.